Before we can write IEP goals, we have to know how to write performance or behavior objectives. Crafting meaningful objectives ensure our student success. Without specific, observable, and measurable objectives, our students won't know what to do, how often to do it, how long to do it, or the level of intensity or effort to put into it. Today, we're going to be talking about observing behaviors and crafting behavior objectives. First, I want you to back up and explain the difference between an IEP goal and an objective. When we write an IEP goal, we use data based on the student's current rate of progress to predict where the child or student should be in a skill or mastery level in 1 year. We write objectives to break that time period down into feasible reporting periods, typically thinking with the school's quarterly report card. If the student is not meeting the objective in a quarter period, we need to call the IEP team together and ask why, and to consider amending the IEP. An objective is usually written in sequential skill acquisitions with levels of mastery reported. Benchmarks show degrees, percentages of accuracy, or fluency. Before you can write a behavior objective, you need to observe the behavior and analyze why the behavior is occurring. Students who have behavior infraction are required to have a functional behavior assessment. Typically, this involves several people observing the student or child in different settings and getting together to analyze why the behavior is occurring. The purpose of a functional behavior assessment is to see why the behavior occurs and try to meet the needs of the child to prevent maladaptive behaviors. Particularly for children who are nonverbal, their behaviors are their means and way of communicating with us to tell us what they want or need. Please watch this video and it will help you complete exercise 1. The teacher is going to be completing an ABC analysis, such as what you would be doing before you write a behavior objective. Go ahead and stop, pause this video, the lecture, and watch the YouTube video. Your PLC team is to agree on an age of a child, whether it's a young child, elementary school, or high school age student, and watch and analyze one of these videos. In exercise 1, you will be completing a behavior analysis. For exercise 1, be sure to make a table, such as what you see at the bottom of the slide, that shows the time that has elapsed, the antecedents, the behavior, and the consequences. For exercise 2, you will be writing a target behavior for the student in this video. Push pause now. Anyone remember watching an 80s movie called Weekend at Bernie's? The movie is R-rated. I'm giving you a heads up, and you don't have to watch it to get the concept of compliance versus engagement. A child can be non-compliant, obviously, and not do anything. They can be compliant and not do anything. They could be sleeping, just sitting quietly, and not engaged in anything. One of the most common mistakes that are made in writing behavior objectives is that the target behavior doesn't require the child to do anything. They are not engaged. If your target behavior passes these tests below, you've got a valuable, worthwhile behavior to teach. So with your team, run your target behavior through each one of these tests to see. And when you come to, could Bernie do this? You can replace it with, could a dead person do this? Push pause and complete the exercise now. For exercise 3, you're going to be writing the behavior objective in its entirety. You will see that we also use an ABCD formula. This is not to be confused with ABC analysis of behavior. ABC analysis is antecedent, behavior, and contingency, while what we're looking at is the audience or the child or student, the behavior, which is the target behavior, the condition, and the degree or level of expected performance. I've given you an example here so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. D can be explained and stated several different ways. You could say the degree for the duration or how long you want the child to perform a behavior. You could say for how often, or you could also use it for percentage of accuracy or fluency, level of mastery, or even the intensity of the behavior that you want the child to perform. Condition describes when, where, how, and under what circumstances the target behavior will be performed. After you complete exercise 3, there's one last exercise that you will be doing. Exercise 4. This is a great video for you to see, and it may be something that you've not ever thought about before. This video is in the Irish training modules, and it emphasizes success with teacher requests to students, and how we can improve our requests so that the students would follow them. Please take a minute to watch this short video, and then with your team, come back and note the procedures that the teacher uses to implement the high probability request. I also want you to see where her delivery is left to chance, and I want you to reflect on your practices and share what you've learned as a group. After you complete this, then your team recorder would put all of your answers in on the same file and submit the file for the team.